everyone. Welcome back to 5 Minute Book Podcast.
Hi.
Important question right off the bat. Have you ever dreamed of working at Disneyland?
You know I have.
You have?
No.
Oh, you've never wanted
No,
to?
that sounds like a nightmare.
Oh, okay. So if you were to work at Disneyland.
At the Disney park?
Okay, so at the theme park.
The theme park.
Yes.
Okay.
What would you want to do?
You know, back when it was the Haunted Hotel. Oh, no, it was the Twilight Zone Hotel. Previous to Guardians of the Galaxy drop, it was like the Twilight Zone Hotel. I don't remember exactly what it was called.
No, wasn't it the Tower of Terror?
Tower of Terror, but it was from the Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that was what it was inspired by. At least I'm pretty sure. But anyways, all the characters in there, they were way more interactive than the other people. Like the Jungle Cruise, they're kind of interactive. They got a lot of one-liners. But they were like off-book improvising the whole time at the Tower of Terror.
So you would love that.
Yeah, I would do that.
When me and my sister went in October, we went to the new Star Wars ride, and we like rose up, and like it was super fun. And I leaned over, I was like, Chanel, if there is a drop in this, like I can't. And she's like, oh, I don't think so. Very end, and we're like, "Ah!" Like we just.
What drop was this?
It's in the new Star Wars ride. You haven't gone on it.
Okay.
At Disneyland.
Yeah, because the line was always like 3 hours.
No, it wasn't open yet.
No, I was open that one time. It was like 3
I guess
hours.
the last time me and you went, yeah, it was open.
Why are you
but
just
there was
saying
a
no to
queue.
me all the time?
I'm pretty sure that there was a queue for it. But yeah, we walked on super easy. It was crazy. But there was a drop to it, and it surprised us, and we were not happy. But it was still really fun.
Tav, what do you do at a theme park? What would you want to do at a theme park?
I would do what one of the characters that we're going to meet, the female main character in this book that we're going to talk about.
You would want to be a character?
No.
That walks around the park?
No. Okay, in the book that we're talking about today, the main female character, Zara, I would do what she is doing. I would work in one of the little beauty salon things that you'd have little girls come in and you would do like their makeup and like their
the face
hair.
painters.
Yeah, but it's much more elegant than that.
Does Disneyland have that?
Yes, in the Princess Castle.
Oh.
You go in and you can choose like a dress, and then they do your hair and a little bit of makeup, some sparkles.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's what I do. And so when I first started this book that we're going to be talking about, she does that, and I was like, amazing. That's exactly what I would do. I definitely wouldn't be one of the characters.
I know.
No.
When you said that you would be like one of the characters at that thing, I was like, no, you wouldn't.
No,
you would absolutely not be a character.
The book that we're going to talk about today is called The Fine Print, which is the Dreamland Billionaires, and it's by Lauren Asher. And this book was actually suggested by someone. Her username on YouTube is That Writer Girl. And she asked, hey.
What kind of writer?
W-R-I-T.
Okay.
Yeah. She said, hey, if you haven't read this book yet, you should read it. And I said, done. Because I've seen the book before. Like, I've seen it on Kindle. I've seen it all over Amazon. I've seen it on Book TikTok, just everywhere. And I just haven't done it. I just haven't thought about it. Because for some reason, I thought that it was, like, the same series as, like, Anna Huang with, like, her Twisted, her series. And so I was getting them confused. But this one is it's called The Dreamland Billionaires, and Dreamland is the equivalent to Disneyland. With the tropes that we're going to be talking about, there's a grumpy billionaire. There is the grumpy sunshine, the workplace romance. There is the billionaire romance. There's a lot of tropes in this. There's a little bit of forced proximity. We love all of it. So basically, Zara, that's our main female character. She is the sunshine. She is what we talked about, worked in the castle, and is like one of those beauty stylists that helps like little girls, and it's super cute. And she wants to become a creator one day. So she wants to work in like the more corporate office and help come up with like ideas for rides and ideas for like new parks and things like that. She's always wanted to do that. And her family has worked in Dreamland like throughout the years. Like her dad worked there. Her mom worked there. I think that's where they met.
She's
And
been indoctrinated over the generations.
yes. And so she's applied for that creator role a couple times. And little do we know, we find out later that the main creator of Dreamland, like
The Walt Disney
exactly,
of Dreamland.
he dies at the beginning of this book. Like he passes away.
Just like Walt Disney.
And we find out that Zara and him had been he'd been teaching and coaching her to become a creator, and she has all these ideas, everything like that. So because of his death, he has 3 grandsons. And in his will, he said, hey,
one of them's too hard, one of them's too soft, but one of them's just right, huh?
that's exactly it.
Yep. Wow, I wonder where they got that from. Goldilocks and the 3 Bears?
Is that even Disney?
No. It's,
Well, then why would they use that?
I want to say it's a Grimm fairy tale, but it's fine. Disney takes everything from Grimm.
Probably. So I don't know what the other 2 are, but with Rowan, he's the one that we're going to learn about in this book.
See, the hard one.
He's grumpy.
He's the grumpy one?
Yeah, he is very much like
Wait, is he the billionaire or one of the grandsons?
both. He's a billionaire
He's
because
a billionaire
of his grandpa.
grandson. Oh.
Because
He's not really
and
a billionaire,
he has to be the CEO for 6 months in order to
prove that he can do it.
in order to gain his inheritance. So he has to be the CEO for 6 months, and he has to come up with a plan on how to improve the park, and he has to present it in front of like all the board of directors, and they have to approve it.
Does he feel like this is a burden to him? That this is beneath him?
A bit, yeah.
What a twat. Oh my God.
Isn't that how they all act, though? I don't know. This is very normal.
I guess it's just it's relative.
It's not because he thinks he's better than the park.
I know, but to think like, oh, this is just so hard. It's like, oh, it's hard to be creative.
For some people, yes, it's very hard to be creative. One of the stipulations in the grandpa's will, or like to get Rowan's inheritance, he has to include Zara. Because she had worked with the grandpa before. And so
the billionaire grandpa?
Yes.
With Zara?
Yes. Like he was kind of like tutoring her a bit. I'm not sure how.
She was connected to a billionaire?
Mm-hmm.
And she was...
So...
She did not play her cards right.
He is like, hey, come and be a part of this creator team. And she does. She has a lot of ideas, and he's just so grumpy towards her. We're talking about Rowan, of course.
Okay.
And so somehow there's like a secret identity type thing where Rowan sees like her drawings and they're terrible. And so he's like, hey, let me take them to my friend, which is actually him. And he's a really good illustrator, and he is actually creative, but he's always been like pushed down, stifled to like the business side because of like his dad.
I don't feel bad for this billionaire grandson at all. I know. I do not sympathize with this.
You don't have to. He's not asking you to.
That's fine. No, I hope he fails though. That's how I feel in this story.
Why?
That's how I'm rooting for this right now. Why?
Yeah.
He's a billionaire who feels put upon that he has to be creative and present to a boardroom of people.
But he changes his attitude at the end.
Oh, good. He shouldn't have had a bad attitude to begin with.
Well,
I'm so sorry you have this multi-million
his grandpa just died.
Job.
What do you want from him?
Wait, his grandpa died?
Yes, he's the grandpa billionaire of this
I didn't know his grandpa died.
I literally said it at the beginning. I said he
I thought
died.
his grandpa has been alive this whole time.
No, he died at the beginning.
Of the book?
Yes. Yes, that's
Okay.
why he has to be CEO for 6 months in order to get his inheritance.
From the board.
From the will.
Okay,
Yes.
I get it. The way you were telling the story made it sound like the grandpa is alive the whole time. I'm sorry. You're probably right that you said it.
He said, hey, you got to come up with this plan. You got to be CEO for 6 months, and you got to include Zara and make her a creator. Right. And so she takes all the ideas from the grandpa that she's been chilling with and takes them to Rowan. And he's like, whoa, okay. And so he softens towards her. He's this hidden identity that he's creating all these pictures and illustrations for her and kind of leading her on. She's kind of a pushy girl. I don't
As like
super
a
like
secretive
her.
animator, like leaving hidden notes, not knowing.
No, he's just saying to her, like, hey, I have this friend, but that friend is actually him. And so she has the friend's phone number, and so they're having conversations, and she thinks he's someone else, but it's really him.
Okay, so she doesn't realize she's texting Rowan.
Exactly.
She thinks she's texting an animator.
Exactly.
Okay.
We have the workplace romance that, of course, he has to be broody towards her.
Very
and even
taboo.
in person,
I don't think workplace romances are allowed at Disneyland. I think they stomp.
aren't.
I think they stomp those so hard.
They probably did. That's probably like it's
It's
probably
a place
very
for everyone
frowned
else's dreams to
upon.
come true except yours. You don't get that.
Yeah, I don't even know. But this book and this series has been described as like for Disney adults, but make it spicy. It's like, oh, if you actually worked at this place and had this romance with a billionaire. With these books, they make these billionaires more relatable and more down to earth. I will say that this is about 3 chili peppers. It's about 3 out of 5 spice. It wasn't bad. It had like some sexual tension, which I enjoyed. Of course, it has. This is like.
And then she did his makeup.
Oh my gosh. This is one of my favorite things about romance books. Like, and I don't know if I've ever shared this, but my absolute favorite thing, I will love this book, is if there's so much tension and then they just are staring and then all of a sudden one of them snaps and they're like making out. Like, I think that
You like that trope.
is my favorite moment of any book, where it's like there's just been so much, like, even if there hasn't been a lot of tension, or if like in this they were like arguing a lot, and
That's also her favorite way to kiss.
I just bounce.
Tav will be arguing, saying mean, horrible, terrible things. All of a sudden, she just jumps my bones and is like punching me with her chin
It's
in my
like
face.
whiplash. We're like, what's
Pinning,
happening?
just slamming me against the wall. I'm like, hold on, I'm the man here. Let me slam you. It's like, no, this is me. This is how I kiss.
Maybe that's
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Maybe that's why with our first kiss, I was like, I just want to start kissing him because then we can start making out. So I was the one that went for the first kiss.
Yep.
Because that was my reasoning, where I'm like, oh, I'll just get this over with so then we can just
You
make
did not
out.
leave any room for me to back out
I
of that
didn't.
kiss.
And maybe it's because I've been reading these types of books since I was a teenager. Like, do you think that had any influence? Where I was like,
Maybe. Probably.
that's why like I was so forward, because I knew what I wanted.
I mean, yeah, it probably contributed to it. I don't know how much.
I don't know either. That's interesting. Okay, so I want to know, would you rather have Zara's job, which I'm guessing it's asking Zara's job as in like a creator, like creating
Yes.
Disneyland, stuff like
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to finish the
Or a
yes.
theme park food tester.
No.
Oh, I would do the food tester because
You do the food.
I would
I'll take the
not
creative job.
survive. They'd be like, come up with an idea. I'd say, can you give me 6 to 12 months? I will
So is
read.
it just because they keep working in close proximity that he slowly starts to fall in love with her?
Yeah, because he sees like
and she
her
stays against him
characteristics.
until he finally reveals that he's the artist that she's been talking to the whole time. This book is like You've Got Mail in the sense that she doesn't know who she's talking to, at least the face. She doesn't have a
Yes.
face to put to the name, but
That-
she loves the animator, but it's Rowan
Rowan.
the
Yes.
whole time.
I did actually really like this book, though. I will read the second and third because I know the second one is about the oldest brother, and apparently he has to marry someone for his inheritance. I think right now he's like the CFO of like one of their bigger shell companies or something. So in order for him to like help the company and get his inheritance and ownership and stuff, he has to get married, which from the hints of it in this book, I think he probably falls in love with his secretary, like his executive assistant. So
Oh boy.
I do want to read that. And I don't really, we learn about the third brother in this book, but I don't know anything about his story, or he seems like a very goofy, non-serious person.
So is the series of books have to do with all three of the brothers?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah. And how they get their ownership and fall in love and get their
Are
inheritance.
they all competing for the same job?
No, they're different jobs in the company. They work together
okay.
because they also have something like if all three of them reach this goal, then they get more, basically. But if one of them fails, then they all fail. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining on
Thanks.
another chaotic episode. Subscribe and
Comment, like.
Yeah, comment more book suggestions because this is from that writer girl, and I don't think I would have read this book without her commenting that.
Yeah.
So
Comment other books that do the "You've Got Me" mail
oh,
thing.
yeah.
Or the Sleepless in Seattle, which apparently Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail have the same plot, right?
I
Tab?
don't know. You know,
No, they don't. They don't. We
you
looked
know
it up.
I
It's
don't have a good
confirmed.
memory. Thank you, everyone. Once again, comment, subscribe.
It's not okay.
Follow us on Instagram. Just all of it. We're there.
On TikTok, too.
On TikTok, barely.
Yeah. Yep. Do the
So-
comments.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.